Hey Space Watchers, and welcome back from the 40th Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. We are outside the symposium environment right now in the Garden of the Gods resort, and I followed an invitation for media to see the mobile radar of LeoLabs, the brand new one. And I got this truck. But I have a man who will tell us what it is about. I have the pleasure to talk with Tony Frazier, the CEO of LeoLabs. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. And congratulations, you survived at least 1 year now in LeoLabs.
Yeah, a little over 1 year. So,
tell us more about the truck thing and how this mobile radar fits in.
yeah, no, thank you. So LeoLabs has been in the space situational awareness market since 2016. And we have 11 active radars in our network today. All of them are fixed site systems. So most of them are about the size of a football field. And we started working on our next generation technology for both S-band and UHF technology several years ago, and were awarded a contract about a year ago with the Small Business Innovative Research out of AFWorks to further mature our S-band technology. And as we started working on the capabilities, our radar technology was miniaturized, and it allowed us to be able to build a very effective high-power radar in a much smaller form factor. And so that resulted in the truck we call Scalable.
So, but what does it mean? So can you now cover the sky from here, from this location, as we speak?
Yeah, no, we can track objects like Starlink, satellites, with this truck-based system, and so the concept was, if we could build a very powerful system in a much smaller form factor. So this truck is roughly 8 feet by 20 feet long. We then could rapidly deploy these systems in different environments. So the containerized radar, which is the radar that's sitting on the truck, can be deployed in a mobile system. It could be deployed in a maritime environment. It could be deployed rapidly in a fixed site, either individually or as an array. And so what it allows us to do is to rapidly proliferate our network so that we can maintain custody of new foreign launches as well as highly maneuverable spacecraft.
What is the benefit from having it mobile? I mean, mobile things you would need in an emergency situation. Is something like an emergency situation exist for the SSA environment? What is the idea behind this?
Yeah, it's really more the speed of our ability to deploy in different environments. And so if you look at our current network, as I mentioned, we have 11 active radars at fixed sites where to have both the land, the permitting, the FCC license, the power. These radars are the size of a football field.
Yeah.
This allows us to be able to deploy in many more locations. And if you look at some of the challenges in areas like Indo-Pacific, there aren't as many locations that are needed or that we're able to support with our current generation system. And so this is a way for us to be able to field in a more diverse set of environments. And by doing that, we're going to be able to maintain custody of the proliferation of new launches as well as new space objects on orbit.
But why on a truck and not on a container to deploy it somewhere and leave it there? This kind of mobility, because the truck entails that it's there for 2 hours and then we're moving on. What is obviously not the case, and for the purpose.
We deployed the first version of Scalable on a truck, but it is a containerized radar that can be deployed at a fixed site. It can be deployed on a maritime platform. And so really it just gives us more optionality in terms of the types of locations where we can field the technology.
When you talk about maritime installations, are these fixed maritime at one place, or are they moving as well?
We're evaluating both scenarios. So
the data you're creating from the truck, from the mobile one, feeding into the system, can you give us a ratio of what percentage can come from such a truck from such a mobile thing compared to the football fields that you have worldwide?
So this system is optimized for being able to track space objects that are larger than 10 centimeters in size, about the size of a softball, which today we're tracking tens of thousands of objects that match that size. So the system has a similar capability as our current radars. It has a smaller field of regard. But one of the benefits of that is it allows us to be able to see things at lower orbits that are interesting. And so one of the other use cases that drove this initial design was some of the trends we're seeing in very low Earth orbit. That there's a proliferation of sensors flying below 500 kilometers, where we're able to use this architecture to be able to see a broader cross-section of activities.
Okay. And these trucks are in production, in service already, or are these beta types?
So this is our first system that we delivered, but we're building multiple containers that are going to be deployed in Indo-Pacific later this year. So we'll have the first handful of these systems deployed, tracking satellites, testing our ConOps, and putting us in a position where we can further scale up production.
Great. Thank you very much for the time and the explanation. I'm looking forward to see results from this truck, and I wish you a great symposium over the next days. And with that, SpaceWatch out.